On today's wrestling news, a huge return on WWE SmackDown.
CM Punk is reportedly ready for his next project.
We've got the first entrant into the WWE Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and we've got some new details when it comes to Becky Lynch's role / maybe not a role, maybe a role, we don't know what's happening with Marvel.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? Yes, my name is Phil James and I'm joined by Gareth Morgan and Salty Sea Dog to talk all things wrestling news. But before we get into it, make sure you like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you think of each of today's stories, and links to each story is in the description, so click the timestamps and off you go. But first up, a big return on WWE SmackDown last night. It was Tegan Nox. She came back, she saved Liv Morgan from a damage control attack, as I'm getting attacked by the dog right now.
Salty's licking the channel, not liking it, it's great.
There's been a bunch of reports leading up to this. It's been one of the names that's been rumoured ever since Triple H returned, kind of obviously. Michael Cole name dropped her at the Survivor Series event at War Games as well. So yeah, it's great to see Tegan Nox back on WWE TV. It's been a while. She's been released just over a year ago now. She came up originally to SmackDown from NXT, obviously with Shotzi and a bit of a tag team that kind of got pushed, but then kind of also went nowhere, and then kind of split up for no apparent reason. And then she got drafted to Raw, but then never actually appeared on Raw. And then got released in one of the big rounds of releases. It was a bit of a weird one, but obviously she had a lot more success in NXT, apart from all of the injuries that she was just incredibly unlucky for. Like, her story in wrestling in WWE is just so many peaks and valleys of just really, really bad luck, but also really, really great stuff in terms of what she got to do on TV and things. So yeah, she is back. She's not done anything for like the year that she's been off, but not for any choice of her own, apparently. Apparently it was all down to visa issues. She was really struggling with the visa issues, obviously because she's British and she was living in the US, and then when she lost her job, it meant that she couldn't wrestle on her visa, but she also couldn't leave the US if she wanted to go back to the US. It's a bit of a strange situation, but obviously WWE have managed to sort all that out. Triple H is very, very high on Tegan Nox, so it's only kind of been a matter of time, this one. And I, for one, am very glad to see Tegan Nox back on the TV. The first ever WCPW Women's Champion. Back on WWE TV. It's good stuff.
There you go. And it's just nice seeing her get a full name back as well, because it was Shotzi and Nox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For a spell. This is a nice one, just a heartwarming one, because like you said, she's had some dreadful luck. When we were covering NXT, it was just anytime she picked up any momentum, bang, a knee went, and it was
so harsh.
It's probably not the best thing that a finisher involves her slamming a knee into people anyway, but I just hope they wrap her in cotton wool, really, for at least a couple of months and let her pick up some momentum, because there's a babyface story there easily. You just talk about these rising up. There's little like things there with Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, like loads of just like glorious nuggets that they can explore if they want to explore it, and there's just a lot there waiting for her to dive into. So I like her, and she's fellow Welsh woman, so we like that. So let's hope for the best for Tegan Nox. So kind of changing gears a little bit, because I don't really know, you kind of maybe injuries. I think injuries is the seg into this, because CM Punk's currently injured and he's battered his tricep. Very different circumstance, let's say, though. And a lot has kind of been said about what's going to happen with CM Punk in AEW. A lot has been said, and something new has been said to it as well, because the Wrestling Observer newsletter has provided another update with all things Punky and AEW. He said, well, Mr. Meltzer has said that he's still being paid right now by AEW. He's still under contract. He's still there as of this weekend. But, and this is the key but, people close to Punk have said that he's kind of ready, and he's ready and willing to move on to his next project. It's AEW who are kind of holding things up right now, just not fully ready to let him go, release him, let him depart. But it's not really specified exactly why that's the case or what the next project is or anything like that. But on top of this Observer report update, whatever you want to call it, also said that despite everyone thinking that the Elite and Punk thing's going to happen, like there's going to be a whole new angle with that because of the way that the Elite have handled the whole taking digs at Punk and shots at him and the whole brawl out stuff on Dynamite recently, there is absolutely no chance of that happening, according to people that are very close to the situation. But then in another just little update added sprinkle of what the hell's going on with this, Sportskeeda have reported that he is still going to be a part of the game. Punk is still going to be in Fight Forever. So, I mean, I know it takes a lot to take characters out of these games sometimes because it's just a lot of, like, I don't know, coding and the computer mumbo jumbo. But what's going on? What's going on with this damn drama?
It's the story that will never, ever end. And yeah, the storied history of CM Punk and AEW, it's going to go on forever, as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, there's a lot of contract issues in there that we just don't know about, and that will probably come out in the wash at some point down the line. Exactly why this sort of hold-up has been happening, whether it's just maybe AEW don't want to pay CM Punk out of the rest of his contract. Maybe they just don't want to hand over millions of dollars for absolutely nothing. There's definitely different sides to this. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But it'd be interesting to know what CM Punk's next project is. I assume it's something to do with MMA commentary, but then he's already been doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like
it can't be that. It must be something else. Yeah,
he has been in films. Maybe him and MJF are going to star in a new buddy cop comedy. I don't know.
But then, what project could he be doing that would his AEW contract would stop him from doing?
Yeah. Oh,
because that makes it sound like a wrestling thing.
Yeah, there's more twist to come in this, isn't there? A lot more twist.
To wait and see. It's never happening. It's never over, this story. We'll be reporting on it forever. But next up, we're on the road to the best wrestling pay-per-view of the year. The Royal Rumble, obviously, not WrestleMania. And the first person has been officially entered into the big Royal Rumble match for the 2023 event. And it happened on SmackDown last night. And it was Kofi Kingston entering himself in a promo backstage on SmackDown. And then he went on to lose to Gunther later in the night. But yeah, it just shows that WWE gearing up to the Royal Rumble on the 3rd of December, which I think is unheard of, considering there's such a massive gap, obviously, between Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble, and no pay-per-view in the middle for the first time. For a really long time, for as long as I can remember, at least back until the 90s, probably. So yeah, big road to the Royal Rumble. It's already drawn a massive gate. It's going to be the most successful Royal Rumble ever. They've broken $5 million already for the gate, which breaks the record of, I think, the 2017 one, which is just absolutely huge and stupid. But the Royal Rumble, I bloody love the Royal Rumble. I'm very, very excited because it's just the best pay-per-view of the year, and Kofi Kingston's the first person in it. I guess we're going to get drips and drabs of people being entered into it all the time. I just love it. The Royal Rumble's great. However, bring back the little wheel and the balls and the numbers, because it's just a bit more interesting than I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, that's you've just led perfectly into my kind of point of view on this, because I absolutely love that aspect of it where it's a lottery, you don't know what's going to happen, but I don't like knowing absolutely everybody who's going to be in it, apart from two people. Because we know there's going to be surprises and everything else, but just give us a couple that you can just weave storylines in even
over
if
the next couple of weeks.
Half of them that you say, leave like a good chunk. Like it's when they get to 27 or 28 people or 29, you're like, oh well, why are you telling us all of this? At least some of it.
And then those people don't even turn up. Some of them, and it's like, well, why did you just blatantly advertise somebody who's not gonna? It's just, you don't need to overcomplicate this. Just have have enough people to excite people and make people put the money down anyway. People are gonna do it anyway.
People have already put the money down. It's made $5 million already, and the show's in 2 months.
So they don't have to announce anyone then. Do you know what I mean? If you really want to go there, just go, I don't know, let's see who's in the Royal Rumble, and then we'll just go in completely blind and see what happens there. Don't do what they did with the women's one, last year, where they put everyone in it, apart from one person, and we're like, who's that going to be? It's just, we don't need that, okay? Just keep the surprise and bring back the tombola weird thing as well, because that was just great. I always remember the Eddie Guerrero one, I think, where he tripped Ric Flair. That was just, love it. Great stuff. Completely, again, big old shift. Don't know what we're going to do with this, but Becky Lynch, she's in WWE. The Royal Rumble's in WWE.
She is in WWE.
So I'm good at this.
News.
That's the news. Bye. So she has been making a lot of noise on the acting scene. I've been keeping an eye on this, Phil, because she was obviously Cyndi Lauper in Young Rock recently. She got a lot of good reviews for that. She was very good in that. We've obviously reported on that as well. But before that, She was said, I think it was May 2020, she was said to have filmed something for Marvel Studios for the MCU, and this was according to Chris Chapley of Netflix's The Call Sheet. It was heavily reported, but they didn't really say what it was, what she was filming, what film, anything like that. It was just like, Marvel, Lynch, it's happening. Didn't really happen though, because this film was meant to happen in 2021, and if you've watched a lot of MCU stuff like I have, she wasn't anywhere. And it was a bit like, oh, what's happened to Becky Lynch? Well, we've got an update as to what happened, because Fightful Select shed a bit more light on it. And as it goes, she was she was planned to be in the Eternals film, which came out. I don't know if you watched that, but it was Chloe Zhao's film. I quite enjoyed it. It didn't really get the best reception when it came out. It was kind of divisive and didn't really smash the box office or anything like that. But originally, she was going to pop up in a post-credit scene, and this scene, it's not sure if it was filmed, it's not sure if it was just like in the planning stages, but somewhere down the line, it just got cut. It ended up on the cutting room floor. They decided they either shot it and just dropped it out, or they just didn't want to do it at all. It wasn't specified what character she was going to play, but they said that like possibilities of Lynch popping up in a further Marvel property, maybe as this character, maybe as something else, are not out of the question, because they love what she did. They said that she was great in the role she did. The scene in question, though, was apparently too depressing. And if you watch the Eternals, it's very depressing at times anyway, so maybe they just didn't want that at the end. And I think in the end, they had Harry Styles as Star Fox, and his little troll friend popped up, and everyone was like, great. That was the end credit scene. Instead of Becky Lynch. But this is interesting, because there's been a lot of talk of Marvel and WWE recently. I think Damian Priest was in the run-in to play a role in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and now this with Becky Lynch, and apparently she's done herself a great job in the actual role and could be popping up again down the line. And this is another huge thing, and if she starts popping up in MCU films, I worry about her WWE future, because, you know, it's a big thing being in Marvel films. If she's like a consistent thing, I don't know what's going to happen, but watch this space when it comes to Lynch in the MCU.
Indeed. She can do both. She's a talented gal.
I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, there's always space for dipping out of wrestling to go and do a little film shoot and then come back again, so long as she comes back again, obviously. But yeah, it's interesting. It's good stuff for Becky Lynch, though, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
The Young Rock thing went down really, really well. And yeah, just all the best to Becky Lynch. She deserves every little bit of it. It's good stuff.
Look at all these actors smashing wrestlers. No, actors who are wrestlers. Wrestlers, yeah. They're all actors. I don't know. They're all smashing it. Love it.
It's good stuff. But let's end the video on your Twitter questions. The first one of the day comes from Howie Potter, who actually sent us a little poll, which is in my Twitter likes, @PhilMyJames. If you want to go to my likes, you can enter the poll and see what you say. But he is asking, in 2023, would you rather see Sami Zayn as WWE Champion, Sami and KO as Tag Champions, Cody as the Universal Champion, or Simon Miller in WWE or NXT?
I missed the option of Salty becoming Universal Champion. Was that
yeah,
not?
that's E. That's definitely the one I'm going for.
Okay, I'm going E. But if I can't go E, I'm going to go Mighty Miller. I think obviously in the WWE sphere, you want to go for the Cody one. I think that'd be a cool story. But you got to go for your homegrown boys, don't you? So Mighty Miller popping up in WWE or NXT.
Sorry, Miller, I'm going for Sami Zayn as WWE Champion. It's just he's overpowered me.
What a heel turn. Look at that.
Sorry, it's happened. I love Sami Zayn too much. Sorry, Miller.
Pops up in one sign on Dynamite.
In your wrestling world, Simon. But you're not beating Sami. Come on.
Showing your true colours there, Phil.
Also,
horrible.
He probably wouldn't be allowed to do ups and downs if he went entering into WWE and NXT.
He could wear a mask and be El Generico and go down that route with it. Why not?
Ups and downico.
Yeah.
Anyway,
big arrow. No, I'd love it. Sorry.
Legacy. You want to enter the poll? Go to my Twitter likes @PhilMyChambers. The next question comes from Hassie, who says, will Cody Rhodes be put in a place to chase the big prize right away, or will the front office have him hold the United States or Intercontinental title to continue to push and elevate those belts?
See, if this question was asked when Cody originally debuted, I'd be a bit worried, and I'd be like, no, I don't really want to see him with a mid-card belt. But over the last couple of months, they both kind of had to become it, to be honest, with the whole state of the Universal WWE Championship. But they've both become quite prestigious. And Cody looked really cool with the US title, because flag, belt, maybe put the flag on the belt. It works. It syncs up for me. And I think the whole recent report of The Rock, maybe not, popping up at the Royal Rumble as number 30 and probably win the whole thing, has changed my view on where Cody goes in the road to WrestleMania as well. So maybe put the belt back on Rollins. Cody Rollins, US title, WrestleMania. Do it. Book it.
There you go. There's a lot of weird little moving parts in this Cody Rhodes thing, where originally, like back in Hell in a Cell, it was like no-brainer for everybody on their mind. Cody Rhodes comes back, hopefully at the Royal Rumble, maybe a little bit later, but comes back to WrestleMania at least, and faces Roman Reigns and kind of wins the big one. And that's like, yeah, it was just the logical story, and it made sense to everyone. But now we've got, obviously, the Rock wrinkles are still in there, like whether that's going to happen, but the Sami Zayn thing too. Yeah. It's like he's been thrown into the mix out of absolutely nowhere, and goddamn deserves that spot, and that's a better story to tell. Sorry, Cody. But there's still a lot more for Cody, and there's still time down the line for him to go off for the like Universal title or anything like that. So I think you're right. Either or, I'd say the US title. Yeah. The US title would fit, obviously. I mean, look at him. But even like Cody versus Gunther would be pretty amazing as well.
I didn't even think about that one, but that's just so but I don't want Gunther going near his pecs.
Nah,
don't want him, man.
Very true.
You don't want that.
From the injury on that pecs, coming into a Gunther chop is the first thing you do. Bloody hell.
Burst. Go full Chris Jericho and just burst. No, it's lovely. Gruesome.
And the final question of the day comes from Mike Sykes Blythe, who says, "What was your favourite bump of all time?" Simple.
Ooh. I wouldn't say it's a satisfying one. I'm showing my weird kind of psychotic tendencies, but I think for just like, oh my goodness, what I saw, it was Edge spearing Foley through the ropes into the fiery table, because I had that on DVD as a kid, and I used to watch the box set over and over again. Like my grandparents, when you just get drop with your grandparents on a Sunday afternoon or something, and I just watch it over and over again. And I remember they were so disappointed in me. Watching this hardcore match. You become? I know, I was just like 10 years old, like, it's good this. It was just on fire. And the first time I watched that, my jaw hit the floor big time. So that's my favourite bump, because it's just gnarly. Fair
enough. Yeah, that's a good thing. I got into the hardcore stuff straight away as well, because I was like, ECW was one of the first things I got into in wrestling, like before even WWE. So I was right in at the deep end with the hardcore stuff. But I mean, some incredible ones come to mind. Obviously, the Jeff Hardy spear on Edge in TLC, genuinely incredible. But you've always got to go back to the King of the Ring '98 being thrown off the cell, because it's just the absolute classic and like the pinnacle of like video package wrestling bumps. I don't think it's ever gonna, even like nothing that Shane McMahon with his gigantic dives or anything like that could beat that kind of visceral reaction to that first thing of Foley coming off that cell, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But low-key favourite, it's not really a bump, but it's stuck with me for so long. I think it's haunted me, to be fair. It's not really a bump, it's backstage thing. It was Kurt Angle and The Big Show. Was it back when was I think it's the thing that put Kurt Angle in the wheelchair.
No, I remember now. Yeah,
and
I know where
you're
going.
Slam like off the like balcony bit backstage, and you couldn't see you could see Kurt Angle disappear, but then you couldn't actually see the landing. But just the noise they put in post, and then the way it waited for a bit and then cut, and it was just Kurt Angle in like a pool and this blood slowly dripping from his head. Genuinely haunted my
Was it his leg like
long.
That as well?
It's just the noise, the thud of human on concrete noise that they put in was just way too real. It was horrible.
It was like 2004-05. I was in primary school and I was watching that, and I was like, wrestling's horrifying. It's awful.
Haunted me for so long. But let us know in the comments below what your favourite bump is of all time. Pop it down in there, and while you're at it, follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at FillMyChambers. Like I say, you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
You can follow all of us at WhatCulture WWE. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below. Like I said, ups and downs for Rampage and SmackDown are on the way today, so look out for those. And while you're waiting, just go watch loads more videos, because that's what YouTube likes you to do. But most of all, have yourselves a bloody good day.